Thunderworks makes windshield frames for the Indian Springfield bikes starting from 2016. Some of the bikes have been modified and will explain to you how to know if you have a Springfield or not. This is a quick release windshield and only takes a few seconds to put on or off. Alright, this is what you get when you get the frame for the Springfield. It's got a number of pieces and screws, and we'll show you how to assemble it. The Thunderworks frames work with the Indian brand of windshields as well as the very popular Freedom windshields, which we are a dealer for and you can buy from us. When you get your Freedom windshield, it'll be covered with the plastic, and we suggest you assemble it first with the plastic on to make sure it's the right size you want, because if not, you can then return it for a different one. Okay, now let's get started with the assembly. First, you'll notice there's a left and a right mounting bracket. You can tell by the texture of this piece faces outward on the bike to know which side it goes on. We'll begin assembly by using the screws and the two washers. The large washer goes on touching the plastic, and it has a rubber on it to help keep it from cracking the plastic. After putting the washers on the screws in the proper order, notice there's a left and right on the trim package. So put the screw and washers through. It doesn't matter which holes you start with, but get it lined up with the holes in the bracket and start the screw process. Then tighten it, but not all the way. You still want it to be loose until the end. Okay, we will continue putting the screws in on one side of the windshield. Just screw them in about 3/4 of the way. You don't want them tight. We're going to get everything lined up and tighten them at the end. Once you've completed one side, now proceed to put on the other side. Same process, just get the screws in place so they're screwed in but not actually snug. You can use a power screwdriver or a hand driver. When you get to the point where you're doing the final adjustment, I do suggest using a regular hand screwdriver. Now that you have all 8 screws started, go through and move the trim package around so it's lined up and looks good. Then one by one tighten each screw, and you'll want to kind of push the washers around so they're centered looking until you get it to where it looks the way you want. Now you can install your new windshield onto your bike. Don't force it in place, but just gently slide it in until everything lines up properly and it nestles into place. Then you can lock it in place with the locking tabs. Okay, here's a side view showing the installation. There's a lower set of spools and an upper set of spools that are required to be on the bike that the frame slides onto, as you can see here in the picture. Once it's nestled in place, then you press the little locking tabs down and that locks it in place. You don't need any tools, it's very easy to do. Some of the Indian bikes come with no spools at all, or just lower spools, or both the upper and lower. So whatever you need, you can either get from Indian or we also sell them. The windshields for the Chiefs and for the Springfields are actually very similar, so let me explain the difference. The Chief windshields have 9 holes in them, and the Springfield windshields have 8. And also the mounting area on the sides of the fork are a little bit different. On the Springfields, the distance between the 2 bolts shown here is about 7 3/4 of an inch, and on the Chiefs it's about 8 1/4 inches. So you'll need to know which you have to make sure to get the right frame from Thunderworks. The flat chrome bracket shown here on this bike is not necessary. It's the bolts and the spools that actually mount the windshield. Thanks for watching the video and ride safe.